Hello everybody and welcome to Burt George Field on the campus of Spaulding High School as the Spaulding Red Raiders get set to take on the Concord Crimson Tide in the final game of the regular season. And tonight we will celebrate the seniors for the Spaulding High School team as it's senior night. The Red Raiders come in at 12-5. They have 10 seniors on the team, 9 of which are here tonight, and they will be taking on Concord, who comes in with a record of 5-12. So both teams are battling, one team's battling to make the playoffs, that's Concord, and the Spaulding Red Raiders are trying to secure a top 3 seed. Right now we will turn it over to Spaulding Athletic Director Kevin Hebert for the senior night festivities.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Hebert, and I'd like to welcome you here to Spaulding High School on a very special evening at Burt George Field. We'll be recognizing the seniors of the Spaulding Red Raiders and the Concord Crimson Tide. As you know, these young men have put in a lot of time and effort on the field and in the classroom, and they're playing in their final regular season game for each school. At this time, we'd like to recognize the seniors from Concord and have them step out of their dugout so we can present them with a small gift. First is Blake Bouldry. Nick Dupuy. Andrew Grondin. Robert Law. And Keenan McGonigal. Congratulations, gentlemen, and a round of applause for the Concord seniors. At this time, we'd like to begin announcing the seniors from Spaulding. Our first senior wears number 14, Andrew Barnes. Andrew is here with his mom, Lynn, and his dad, Don, as well as his grandfather, Don. He will be going to college next year to Franklin Pierce University, majoring in health sciences, and planning on getting his doctorate in physical therapy and playing baseball as well. Number 14, Andrew Barnes. Our next senior wears number 11, Dakota Capoletti. Dakota is here tonight with his father, Tim, and mother, Beth, who he will be presenting flowers to. His future plans include joining the military and serving in the Army. Dakota will be leaving July 20th for basic training. We wish him all the best. Number 11, Dakota Capoletti. Our next senior wears number 8, Kyle Kerrigan. Kyle has been recruited and accepted to the New England Wolves Hockey Junior program. He will be attending Lakes Region Community College for his first year of school. Kyle will be presenting flowers to his mother, Nancy, and father, Michael. Also here supporting Kyle is his brother, Adam. Kyle would also like to wish his grandparents, David and Diane Kerrigan, a happy 50th anniversary. Number 8, Kyle Kerrigan. Our next senior wears number 5, Anthony DiPrizio. Anthony will be attending St. Joseph's College in Standish, Maine. He will major in biology and also the pre-physician's assistant program. He was recruited to play baseball for St. Joe's. He's accompanied by his parents, Peter and Sue, and his sister, Marina, and grandparents, Prisco and Phyllis DiPrizio. Number 5, Anthony DiPrizio. Our next senior wears number 7, Josh Gagney. Josh's future plans include attending Nyack College in Nyack, New York on a baseball scholarship, majoring in business administration and a minor in sports management. His family is proud of him and wishes him well. Attending with him on the field tonight will be his mom, Jennifer, dad, Brian, and also his great-grandparents, Brad and Pat Wiggin, and grandparents Wendy and Lowell Martin. Number 7, Josh Gagney. Our next senior wears number 17, Justin Jewell. Justin was recruited to play Division I baseball for the University of Rhode Island. He will be majoring in biomedical engineering with future plans to attend medical school and become a surgeon. He will present flowers to his mother Robin, dad Gary, and sister Jalen. Number 17, Justin Jewell. Our next senior wears number 15, Cody Knapp. Cody is in attendance tonight with his father Eric, stepmom Chrissy, Brady, and his mom Roxanne, who will be presenting flowers to. Also in attendance is his Nana and Pepe Simmons and sisters Jamie and Brandy. Cody plans to enter into the U.S. Army on August 25th. His job study will be combat engineer heavy. He will be furthering his studies in engineering during his service. Number 15, Cody Knapp. Our next senior wears number 2, Chris Parker. Chris is here tonight with his mom Karen and dad John. Chris is enlisted in the Army and leaves for basic training in August. Number 2, Chris Parker. Our next senior wears number 22, Christopher States. Christopher has been accepted to New England College, where he'll be playing baseball for the Pilgrims. He will be studying criminal justice with a minor in business. He is presenting flowers to his mother Sherry and his father Bob. The family would like to dedicate this season to Chris's grandfather, Bill States. Number 22, Christopher States. And our final senior is a dual sport athlete who is also competing in the Division I track championships today, number 6, Brendan Mathias. Thank you, Coach Young. In conclusion, the 2015 senior class would like to give a special thank you to Dan Norcross for all that he's done for the program. Also, my sincere thank you goes out to BJ Gagnon and Dave McKinney, the grounds crew here at Spaulding, for all the work they do here. And of course, our trainer, John Musette, who tends to all of our athletes. Thank you again, parents, and let's have a great game.
Spaulding High Athletic Director Kevin Hebert with a great job announcing all of the seniors, and congratulations on outstanding careers for those 10 Spaulding High baseball seniors. We'll take a break and we'll come back to Burt George Field for the starting lineups between your 12-5 Spaulding Red Raiders and your 5-12 Concord Crimson Tide. Welcome back to Spaulding High School, Burt George Field. The Red Raiders getting set to take the field for their final regular season home game. And I'm here, Kevin Conley, along with John Credo. Our cameraman today is Nate Shaw. We have Spaulding's final regular season home game, 12-5, John. Right now they sit in third place trying to win and secure a top 3 seed.
What a great year for Spaulding. They can finish it here tonight with a win and really do well in the 2015 NHIA Division I baseball. They've had a nice season, and like last week, you and I had a great night to watch ball. Tonight's the same way. What a beautiful night for baseball, Kevin.
Perfect night. A little bit of wind blowing from left to right. Spaulding comes in having won 6 straight games, 7 out of their last 8. Head coach Paul George has them peaking as the playoffs come around.
You aren't kidding. We talked about it last Wednesday with all the run production they put up. They've been on a 6-game winning streak, and it's at the right time. Let's hope it continues tonight against Concord.
Tonight we will see senior Andrew Barnes on the mound for the Spaulding Red Raiders. He's been one of their top pitchers. He comes from the left side, and he's been very effective this year.
Yeah, he sure has. We talked about the pitching depth with Chris States having such a good year, and of course we've got a great year as always with Josh, but here we are with Barnes, and the three of them together are just making a great combination for the Spaulding High School baseball team.
Spaulding, as we said, has won 6 straight. Concord comes in with a 5-12 record. They are the 17th seed, trying to make the 16-team playoff tournament. They need to win tonight and get a little bit of help to move into the playoffs. And as we said, if Spaulding wins, they clinch at least a top 3 seed. They would need Alvern to lose to move into the 2 spot. The number 1 spot in the seedings have been locked up by Pinkerton. They have a 14-4 record. They will be your 1 seed. And we'll go down through the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Crimson Tide, leading off will be the shortstop, Rob Law. Batting second will be the center fielder, Andrew Grondin. The pitcher will bat third, Nick Dupree. Brad Murphy, the second baseman, follows in the 4-hole, followed by Sean Fallon, the left fielder, Keenan McGonigal, the catcher, Noah Wachter, the first baseman, Christian McClellan, the third baseman, and Ethan Dupree bats ninth, playing right field. So Rob Law stands in, facing the lefty Andrew Barnes.
Well, here we go. Burt George Field on a Friday night.
Perfect night. Andrew Barnes starts with a strike. Anthony DiPrizio will be doing the catching for the Red Raiders. In the infield, we have Cody Knapp at first base, Drew Healy at second, Rick Credo at shortstop, and Josh Gagne at third. Pitch is fouled away. In the outfield, Chris Parker, all senior outfield. He'll be playing left field. Justin Jewell is in center field. And in right field is Kyle Kerrigan. 7 out of the 9 position players are seniors.
Oh, way to start it with an out.
There's a strike 3. Andrew Barnes records the first strikeout via the K. 1 out. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Andrew Grondin. As we said, 7 seniors in defensive positions. Chris States will be DHing, also a senior. He'll be DHing for Barnes. Get a good look from up here, John. Andrew has always had great movement on his fastball, tails away from righties.
He sure does. Boy, he's got great mechanics, Kevin.
He's had picture-perfect mechanics since he was 10 or 11 years old. Just stayed with him and has gotten better and better and really blossomed this year as a senior.
Boy, you aren't kidding. He had a little arm trouble last year. He's really come back in his senior year to have an excellent season. And we saw him playing long toss and warm-ups. It's amazing his arm strength in the outfield.
Breaking ball called strike. Andrew will continue to play baseball at Franklin Pierce College, a terrific Division II school in New Hampshire. Ground ball to the right side. Cody Knapp keeps it in front. Steps on first for out number 2.
Way to use the body. He used the whole body to stay in front of that ground ball.
Only 2 juniors in the lineup for Spaulding are in the middle of the infield. Drew Healy at second, Ricky Credo at short. Everyone else in the field are seniors. Standing up now is the pitcher, Nick Dupree. Takes strike 1 in the outside corner. We talked about Spaulding having won 6 straight games. They've given up a total of 8 runs in those 6 games, John. So pitching has been effective. Defense has been equally as effective for them.
Yeah, they had a tough game on Memorial Day on Monday, but they came back to win it.
Ground ball to third base. Gagne up with it across the diamond to Knapp. Barnes has a 1-2-3 inning. We move to the bottom of the first. No score. Red Raiders coming up to bat in the bottom of the first inning. They will be sending up Rick Credo, the shortstop, Justin Jewell, the center fielder, and Anthony DiPrizio, the catcher. They'll be facing Nick Dupree, senior right-hander for the Concord Crimson Tide. One of the top 2 pitchers for Concord, who Concord head coach Josh Owens said has done a nice job so far for him this season, but they've been, as a team, a bit inconsistent, pitching, fielding, and hitting.
6-foot pitcher, 160 pounds, senior in his last year. Bet he'd like this win.
Credo takes ball 1 upstairs. Spaulding coming off a 5-2 win in the last game in extra innings, John.
Yeah, that was a strange game. On Memorial Day on Monday, it went several innings. We were in the 6th or 7th inning and almost didn't have any score. And then finally, they came up and hit the bats and had a pretty good end of the game for Spaulding. It was a long game with a 0-0 score.
1-1 the count to Credo. Grounded foul. Credo's been in the leadoff spot all year for the Red Raiders. Speedy Jr. They lose a lot of seniors, as we talked about. 9 regulars, and then they have a dual sport in Brendan Mathias, who comes over as a pinch runner, but he also runs track during the spring. But those 9 regular baseball player seniors are really going to be missed next year.
Well, they really are, especially in the pitching for the team next year. We've got a lot of depth that we need to fill in the pitching role. We've got a lot of juniors, but boy, it's going to be tough without some pitching coming in.
Credo lines one up the middle. Diving stop by the shortstop, Rob Law. Ball was tailing away from Law. Laid out, scooped it just off the turf for out number 1.
Nice play by the shortstop.
That'll bring up the senior, Justin Jewell. Jewell will continue to play baseball in college and has some career plans.
Yeah, biomed engineering. Good for him. URI. I hope he has a lot of success. Someday maybe be a surgeon, they said in the pregame.
One of Spaulding's finest. Smart kid, terrific athlete, great representative of the city and the school. It's a high pop-up to the infield. Law calling for it at shortstop and makes the catch. Jewell was just about at second base by the time Law caught that.
He's surely quick. There's no question about that. Always has been.
And that'll bring up the catcher, senior Anthony DiPrizio. Two quick outs for Dupree.
Shortstop's been busy.
And here's another one, a hopper to shortstop, across the timing, and Law makes all 3 plays for the Concord Crimson Tide. Dupree is perfect in the first, and we move to the second with no score at Burt George Field. We move to the top of the second inning. Leading off for Concord will be Brad Murphy, followed by Sean Fallon and Keenan McGonigal.
Quick game so far, Kevin. The first two at-bats for each side there has just gone real fast.
6 up and 6 down, 3 on each side. Top of the second inning, no score. Your plate umpire is Dan Coughlin. Dominic Rivetto is umping on the bases. Murphy stands in. He's playing second base.
I'll tell you, Kevin, the pitcher can do more than pitch. He's quite the skier. We see him in the offseason at Gunstock a lot. He does a lot of instruction up there. He's an awful good skier.
Gets that from his dad. Chopper to third. Gagne stays back on it. Plenty of arm strength to make the play. 4 up and 4 down to start the game for Barnes. 2 straight putouts by Gagne at third. That'll bring up the left fielder, Sean Fallon.
6'2" junior.
Barnes with some good pop early on. It's a perfect night, as we talked about at the opening of the telecast. It's in the 70s. Sun still splashing across the infield.
What a great guy the field's in the name of. We didn't talk about it last time, but wouldn't it be nice to have Bert here now? So many games you and I have seen him at through our lifetime. What a great guy.
Yeah, he's been at quite a few games. That ball's fisted. Cody Knapp chases, but cannot get there.
We lost Bert March of 2011. I think he was 87 at the time and did so much for the community. My gosh, I mean, director of public works, he
Soccer,
mayor
baseball.
in the early 70s. Yeah, he was a soccer ref. I mean, he was U.S. Navy, World War II and Korea. Just a great guy, one of my favorite friends' dads.
And he is the father of head coach Paul George, as that pitch is swung on and missed for the second strikeout of the game for Barnes. He's retired all 5 he's faced so far. That'll bring up the catcher Keenan McGonigal.
Initially, one of those announcers, tough last names when you look at it, huh, Kevin?
I do remember a Ryan McGonigal who played for Concord. He was a catcher for Concord probably back in the 80s or 90s, and I'm wondering if Keenan McGonigal, a catcher for Concord now, has any relation. I meant to ask Concord coach about that. Barnes making it look easy to start. He is zoned in right now. Has the ball on the mound, waiting for the batter to get in. 0-2 the count on McGonigal. Barnes rocks and delivers. Curveball swung on and missed for strike 3. Barnes perfect through 2. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Still no score at Spaulding High School. We move to the bottom of the second inning. The Red Raiders will lead it off with Drew Healy, Josh Gagne, and Kyle Kerrigan. Drew Healy batting in the 4-hole. He's had a great season offensively for Spaulding.
Sure has. I'm so impressed with his year offensively. We talked about it last Wednesday on the air, and I say it again tonight. He just is attacking the ball and rarely gets cheated. As you said Wednesday, he doesn't strike out that frequently, and he's just a good hitter, pure hitter.
He has a knack for putting his barrel on the ball. Doesn't get jammed too often. He's not hitting him off the end of the bat. He just puts his barrel on the ball and drives him into the gaps.
Big hands, that's what I'm told. He's got big hands. More meat in his claws than his legs.
Healy and Credo will be the only 2 regulars back for Spaulding next year. We talked about the pitching depth they have this year, but they're all seniors. I think every inning thrown pretty much this year has been from a senior, so they're going to have some players next year adjust to the varsity level on the mound awful quick.
Yeah, with 10 seniors, 4 juniors, and the 1 sophomore with Winfrey, it's a big, big loss of 10 players to next year's squad. It's going to mean that we're going to need a lot of work in that Bob G role at the JV team. We're going to need some helpers.
JV team won by the 10-run rule, and there's a line shot into center field. Drew Healy does what he does. Single into center field to start the second inning for Spaulding. That'll bring up the senior third baseman, Josh Gagne. Gagne headed to Nyack College in Nyack, New York to continue playing baseball.
Nice religious school, Nyack. They actually call Josh Father Josh.
That's a base hit down the left field line. Healy hits second. He's being waved on to third. Short throw from the left fielder, and it's in time. Healy cut down at third base. Ball was not hit hard down the left field line, and Sean Fallon fired into Christian McClellan to retire Drew Healy. It'll go as a single. Healy is retired 7-5 for the first out of the inning, and that brings up Kyle Kerrigan. Kerrigan takes strike 1. Kerrigan's gonna play hockey next year.
Yeah, New Hampshire Hockey Wolves program. Good for him. He's also going to Lakes Region Community College. Awful nice kid. One of the most polite kids that we've probably met, huh, Kevin?
Oh, super kid. Great family. Ground ball to the right side. Fielded by Murphy. Records the out. Gagne moves to third with 2 outs.
Also a good shuffleboard and bocce player.
And you would know that from time spending during the summer with him, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's good at the beach.
Both his parents very involved in everything he does. Mike involved in hockey and baseball all through the years, and his mom Nancy involved in boosters programs with anything that their kids play.
Both hockey and baseball. Yep, very busy.
Ground ball, slice foul by Cody Knapp. The senior Cody Knapp comes up to the plate with 2 outs and a runner at third base.
I think Cody's got more than one job right now. I saw him the other day, and he was talking about working more than one job. Hard worker.
There's a line drive into left field, left center field, hanging up, and the center fielder will run it down. Andrew Grondin got there in time, hit well by Knapp into left center field, but Grondin makes the play for the final out. The Red Raiders get 2 hits in the inning, but they do not score. We move to the third, scoreless at Burt George Field. We move to the top of the third inning. Andrew Barnes on the hill for Spaulding, and he was flawless through the first 2, John.
Sure was. He's on. And that was a pretty good offensive inning, too, for Spaulding. They keep that up, we're going to see an 8-2 game before you know it.
They started off with back-to-back singles. They had a runner thrown out trying to stretch it to third base, and then squandered an opportunity. Scoreless heading to the top of the third inning for Concord. Noah Wachter will lead it off, followed by Christian McClellan and Ethan Dupree. 2 sets of brothers on the Concord team. Duprees are related, both in the starting lineup. And they also have Grondins, another set of brothers. Barnes quickly ahead. Looks like Concord's trying to slow him down a little bit. He's in such great rhythm. Batter's taking a little more time between pitches.
He looks very comfortable tonight. Good conditions for pitching. It's got a little breeze, cool, not too hot, not too cold. It's perfect.
Breaking ball. Fooled the batter, swung on and missed, and that's the 4th strikeout of the game for Andrew Barnes. He's retired 7 straight to start the game, and that'll bring up Christian McClellan.
Sophomore, 6'3", 190, big kid.
Pitch is fouled away. Andrew Barnes getting ahead of hitters. Looking strong in the early going for Spaulding. Red Raiders are 12-5 on the season. They sit in 3rd place with this, their final regular season game. A win and a loss by Alvern would move Spaulding into the 2nd seed moving into the playoffs. They could drop as low as 6th depending on what happens on the final night of Division I boys baseball action in the state of New Hampshire. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Andrew Barnes, through the first 8 batters, has 5 strikeouts and has just looked marvelous to start this game.
Well, you aren't kidding. That other game will be neat to watch, at least hear about tonight, the Alvern Bedford Bedford being home. That's 6 versus 2, and that's a big game, really, when you look at the 2015 NHIA Division I baseball schedule in the last night.
The number 9 batter, Ethan Dupree, stands in. Dupreezio going to go out and talk with his pitcher. First pitch to Dupree was in the dirt.
We were talking about the diversity of this Concord team. They're split pretty evenly with 5 seniors, 5 juniors, 5 sophomores. You talked to the coach. He had mentioned that he had a fairly young squad, Kevin?
He did. He said inexperienced. A couple of the seniors have not played in the high school level previously. In the pitcher tonight, Dupree, one of 2 seniors who's been their top pitchers, but they haven't pitched since Babe Ruth, so they haven't been in the regular lineup as far as pitching, as that ball's fouled off down the right field line. Good hustle by Kerrigan.
was about 4 or 5 feet foul. That was close.
Five strikeouts for Barnes through the first 8 batters. 2 retired on groundouts to Josh Gagne at third. And then he also had a grounder to first base. So no one has left the infield yet against Barnes. And this is the final batter through the lineup for Concord. Breaking ball, backdoor breaking ball for a called strike. 1-2, the count on the number 9 hitter, Ethan Dupree.
I like to see the coaching staff over there relax. They're having fun. I see Ferrillo.
Ground ball to short. Credo rounds it. Across the diamond, not in time. Dupree quick down the line. He beats it out for an infield single. And that is the first base runner of the game for Concord. Barnes will work from the stretch for the first time tonight. He retired the first 8 batters, a single by Dupree. That brings up the leadoff batter with 2 outs in the third, and that's Rob Law, who was one of 5 strikeout victims for Barnes.
Ethan's bat sounded dead on that last hit, Kevin.
Throw to first, back in time. Yeah, it did not have that great ping sound of the aluminum bat.
Might have got it off the end. Tough to say.
Slow roller to the shortstop third base hole.
As I was mentioning earlier, it's good to see the coaches relaxing. I see Coach Ferrillo taking off Coach Wiz's hat between plays, and Gary Bryant having fun with another coach. It's a good coaching staff. They're having fun.
We talked about the staff last broadcast we did, as that swung on and missed. We talked about many Spaulding alums.
Many.
All very good baseball players when they played here.
Yeah, they have a heck of a staff. They really do. They got, Josh Nesbitt, as I mentioned, Ferrillo, Jerry LaChance helps out, Kyle Douglas, Gary Bryant, of course, Paul George. It goes on and on and on. Rocky Rulo, all of them, Spaulding grads, all played baseball here. It's such a great way to give back, and it helps the program when you have all these local guys giving back.
Paul George in his 4th season as the head coach for the Spaulding Red Raiders. Has a talented squad again this year. Swung on and missed. 4 strike 3. The runner was off, but Andrew Barnes picks up the strikeout. He actually strikes out the side. There was a single mixed in. He has 6 strikeouts through 3 innings, and we are scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third. The Red Raiders coming up to bat in the bottom of the third inning. Chris States, the DH, who's hitting for the pitcher Barnes, will lead it off. He'll be followed by the left fielder Parker, and then the top of the order with Ricky Credo. Scoreless in the bottom of the third inning between Spaulding and Concord. The Red Raiders 12-5, trying to secure a top 3 seed with a win tonight. Concord battling for their playoff lives as they are 5-12, sitting 1 spot out of the playoff format. Concord started the season 4-3, John, and they have just won 1 game the rest of the way. Talking to head coach Scott Owen, he said they didn't have a real tough schedule at the beginning of the season. And he said that they played some tight games, but they just have been a little inconsistent.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of the games. I've seen most of the talent in Division I, and I think that Bedford's as good as any as I've seen, and of course Pinkerton. We've got some good squads. Exeter beat us, but this doesn't look to be one of the better squads that I've seen in the games present this year.
Concord has lost 4 straight in 9 out of their last 10. Most recent loss was a 5-2 loss to Central.
5-12 for the season.
Breaking ball grounded to short. Rob Law across the diamond gets States by half a step.
Almost looked like the first baseman pulled off the bag there, but
That's your old trick play, right?
No
Just
question.
Pull off a little early to try to buy a call like you had the ball before the runner reached the bag.
I think I learned that from Danny Conley in 1984. Dominic Rivetto is the base umpire. He had a good look at it.
And it looks like We have Ben Gravel batting in the 9th spot. Chris Parker started in left. I'm not sure when that change took place. But Ben Gravel will come up and bat in the 9 hole where Chris Parker was slated to hit. Chris Parker, one of the seniors, starting in left field, and Ben Gravel, a junior, will take his spot. The one thing Concord coach liked about Dupree on the mound is he said he really competes. He swung on and missed in the dirt. McGonigal takes his time, throws to first, and gets Ben Gravel on the drop 3rd strike for out number 2. And Scott Owen was talking about Dupree. He said he does not have the best stuff on our staff, but some of the underclassmen don't compete as well as he does. So he really likes giving the ball to Nick Dupree, and we've seen through 2 2/3 innings, he's done a pretty nice job so far.
The senior really has. I mean, we've had some hits, but the plays have been made, and he's getting it done. No score on the board for Spaulding.
That'll bring up Rick Credo. Rick Credo was robbed of a hit in the 1st inning as the shortstop, Rob Law, made a diving catch on a liner headed for center field. It was a sinking liner, and Law not only stretched out to his left, but had to scoop it just off the dirt. Foul to the right.
That one's heading towards the car. Nate says it missed.
Nate Shaw is our cameraman. I'm Kevin Conley along with John Credo. Rick Credo, your son at the plate, fouls it back.
Yeah, Rick obviously doesn't have Credo speed. He's got the Tasker speed, Kevin, so
He's thankful
that's
for
how.
that.
Yeah, those are probably his 2 best attributes is his speed and his nice haircut. I like the haircut. Got to give him some compliments, Kevin.
Well, you were a home run hitter.
I guess. I was a power hitter, I guess, but not many home runs, really.
My dad still loves telling the story about the home run you hit when you didn't even know it went out here at Spaulding Field.
Yeah, all the seniors are mad because the JV was the first one to hit a home run over the fence that was put up the week before.
The new fence, John Credo, the first one to hit a home run off it. Called 3rd strike on the outside corner. Credo goes down, and that's the 3rd out, but Concord doesn't realize it. That will end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Dupree, and we move to the top of the 4th inning. Still no score between Spaulding and Concord. We move to the top of the 4th inning. We're scoreless still at Bert George Field. The Concord Crimson Tide will bring up Andrew Grondin, Nick Dupree, and Brad Murphy.
2, 3, 4 hitters for this inning.
First time through the lineup was a breeze, nearly perfect for Andrew Barnes. And there's a bunt down the first base line. Probably a smart play by Grondin, saying, we didn't have much success the first time through. Let's see if he can field this position.
We've got Ben Gravel in left now, Kevin. We didn't see a change, but he's taken over for Chris Parker in left.
I always thought you had a direct line to the scorekeeper in the dugout too, John.
Mr. Wiz has been hallucinating for some time now. He's one of those type guys that can really drive a bus driver crazy. He never stops.
You'd think he'd at least give us the information when they make a change like that, but Ben Gravel is in left field, batting in the 9th spot for Parker. Swung on and missed for strikeout number 7 for Andrew Barnes, and he is impressive tonight.
Yeah, 6 Ks through the first 3, and here we go with the first guy up, number 7. He's doing a great job.
1 out in the 4th. That'll bring up the number 3 batter, the pitcher, Nick Dupree. Dupree grounded to 3rd base back in the 1st inning.
Talk about the senior class, Kevin. Of course, we had all the families out earlier. What a great year in general, 2015, for all the different sports. Basketball regular season, hockey. What a great group.
Yeah, it's been a spectacular season for Spaulding. Barnes has recorded 6 strikeouts. The last 6 outs have all been by strikeout. He's struck out 6 out of the last 7 batters he's faced. So I would say he's in a groove right now. Concord wants to try to do something to break that groove of Andrew Barnes. He's been spectacular here tonight.
Well, this is senior against senior with Nick Dupree. We've got the 2 pitchers.
Swung on and missed. That fastball has been popping and located well. It's 2-2 on Dupree. He's mixed in the curveball that's really baffled Concord as well so far. There's that breaking ball that stays up. Barnes has given up just 1 hit. The only base runner of the game was the number 9 hitter last inning. And there is strike 3 by Andrew Barnes. Catches him looking. Strikeout number 8 in the game for Andrew. 2 outs in the 4th. That'll bring up the cleanup batter, Brad Murphy.
Went to Josh last time with a 5-3 putout.
Grounded that way again, and it goes foul. Murphy and the number 9 batter, Ethan Dupree, the only 2 in the lineup not to strike out tonight against Andrew Barnes. And we are 2 outs into the 4th inning. Impressive night so far for Andrew.
Well, you were having fun with me, Kevin, because I had another game after this at 8, and there's a shot we might make it.
Pitchers are doing their part. That's fouled back. 0-2 on Murphy. 2 pretty good cuts there against Barnes. Oh, 2, fly ball into right center field. Jewell on his horse, headed towards the scoreboard. Won't get there in time. That'll get down for a double. Now he's headed to third. He's caught in between, and they will get the runner at second base. Murphy was looking at his coach Owen, wasn't sure. He made a wide turn. Owen will go out and talk to him now and try to figure out what the miscommunication was, but that will help out Andrew Barnes, and he hasn't needed much help tonight. A double and recorded on the putout that ends the inning, and we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Barnes in control, looking for some help from his offense. Bottom of the 4th inning, Spaulding will send up Justin Jewell, Anthony DiPrizio, and Drew Healy.
Good Saturday Night Fever playing, Kevin. I was told Justin in the senior superlatives was voted the nicest hair.
He had that hockey flow going all winter. He trims it up a little bit for the baseball season, but
They consider Jewell Mr. Perfect on the team.
Dan, the music man, playing the music for his Spaulding High baseball team. During the basketball season, he's Dan the cameraman, so we'll coin him as Dan the music man now.
Justin was part of that first inning where the 3 plays were at the shortstop.
Credo lined to short to start off the game. Jewell grounded to short, and DiPrizio grounded to short. This one right back to the pitcher. Dupree makes the play. 1 out in the 4th. And that brings up Anthony DiPrizio. Grounded to short his first time up. Let me check that. Jewell popped up to short his first at bat. High pop up to the shortstop, Rob Law. DiPrizio batting with 1 out.
Anthony had a real nice game on Monday, Memorial Day, out at Bishop Girton. He had a couple putouts as a catcher that were really key times for it. Played a real good game. Tough pitch.
Spaulding has 2 hits in the game. They both came in the 2nd inning. Healy and Gagne. Grounded to third. Across the diamond, that ball is high. DiPrizio reaches, turns, and will head to second base with 1 out. First error of the game for either team. That breaks up a string of 6 straight batters retired by Dupree. Spaulding's first base runner since the second inning. They have a 1 out runner at second base, and that'll bring up the hot-hitting Drew Healy.
Right guy in the right spot here, Kevin. Let's hope he stays hot.
Healy lined a single to center field in the second inning. Would like to do the same thing here. Center fielder playing very deep against Healy. Breaking ball called strike. Beautiful night at Spaulding High Field. Sun is setting. Lights will be coming on between innings.
I bet we'll see Christian Dow somewhere tonight before the game's out, Kevin. Maybe in the outfield.
Breaking ball, that could be trouble down the third base line. Drops fair. Great read by DiPrizio. He will come around and score, and Drew Healy with an RBI single puts the Spaulding Red Raiders up 1-0.
That was really good base running by Anthony and good third base coaching by Coach George. That was a tough play to run on. Nice hit for Drew. We'll take it.
RBI single by Healy. That'll bring up Josh Gagne. Gagne singled in the first inning. He was stranded at third base. The Red Raiders on top, 1-0. Check on Healy at first. He's back in time.
Nice seeing all the senior parents and grandparents out before the game, Kevin. You saw Wendy and Lowell Martin out there, and Josh's great-grandparents, Brad and Pat Wiggin, and it was Jen and Brian and their families. It was nice. Seen Josh grow from a rugged 8-year-old all the way up through Cal Ripken, through Babe Ruth, and here we are in his senior year. He's had a nice career.
If you followed baseball on the Seacoast at all, you've heard of Josh Gagne. He's loves the sport. He's played it at a high level.
Has he ever hit a home run in Keene, Kevin?
He's hit a few. He's hit a few at all different levels.
He had a hot streak in our 11-year-old and 12-year-old year in Keene that was pretty impressive.
And there's a line shot into left field. Healy moves up to second base. Gagne moves to first. Both Healy and Gagne 2 for 2 in the game. They have all 4 of Spaulding's hits.
4 or 5 batters coming through big.
That'll bring up Kyle Kerrigan. He bounced to second base back in the second inning.
You said before the inning that I predicted it last Wednesday that when Justin came up the second time, it was going to be a big inning. So far, so good, Kevin.
That part of the order's done some damage. In the dirt, Healy gets a good jump, moves to third.
Good base running.
Gagne moves up to second base. McGonigal with a nice block, but he lost sight of where it went.
He dropped and blocked well. It just didn't go in front of him on 45. It went up and behind him.
Infield will come in for Concord. The way Barnes has pitched tonight, they can't give up too many more runs.
No, not with 8 strikeouts. He's hot.
Pitches up, 2-0 the count on Kerrigan. Kerrigan looking to drive in an insurance run here in the fourth. Spaulding up 1-0. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Nick Dupree's pitched a nice game so far for the Concord Crimson Tide. Off the pitch of Dupree. Coming home is Healy. They make the play at first base, but great play by Dupree. Kerrigan hit that one hard, and I don't know if it caught a leg or the glove. He was trying to get the glove down there in time, but that one caught him flush.
No, it definitely hit his leg, Kevin, and he hit it hard, too. That was a heck of a line drive. Talk about spinning his cap. That was done right there by Kyle Kerrigan. Nice hit.
RBI 1-3 put out for Kerrigan. That ball was labeled for center field. Could have been 2 runs. Dupree getting a leg on it, kept it in the infield. Scott Owen talking with his pitcher. Dupree will try to walk it off.
I think it hit his right calf. That's what it looked like for me. He sacrificed the body to keep it in the infield.
He'll take a couple of warm-up tosses just to make sure that leg is fine. Scott Owen, as we said, he talked about his pitcher being a competitor. There is some action down the bullpen for Concord. Might be Sean Fallon, 23. My eyesight's not very good anymore. I'm not sure if that's Fallon or someone else warming up down there.
Cody hit a real long left center fly ball to end the inning, the second inning. It was a shot. It was a heck of a play by that center fielder.
Nice block by McGonigal there. Spaulding's up 2-zip. Gagne at third base with 2 outs. Two and 0, the count on Knapp. Paul George, head coach, coaching third. Gary Bryant coaches first base. Gary Bryant, one of the louder first base coaches there. It's 3-0 on Knapp. He's always into the game.
He is, yeah. He's passionate. He's been a guy that's been involved in baseball his whole life, pretty much. Enjoys coaching, liked to play, was a good player. Even got his son Connor involved.
3-0, green light turned on by Knapp, and it's grounded hard foul.
There's the reason at third to stay foul as a base runner.
Knapp trying to drive in the third run of the game for Spaulding. Gagne at third with 2 outs, and that is ball 4. Knapp walks. First walk of the game issued by Dupree. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the DH, Chris States. States grounded to shortstop his first at bat. Knapp with a short lead at first.
I'd like to see him get his hands out away from his body a little more, Kevin. Less small, choppy swings.
State's one of the top 3 pitchers for Spaulding. In the dirt, again, a nice block by McGonigal. He's done a nice job back there.
He sure has. He does a real nice job of dropping and blocking, keeping the ball in front.
He's kept Gagne at third twice in this inning with tough blocks behind the plate.
Not a small-looking catcher. The senior is 6'1", 210. I saw him in pregame come up to Anthony. He's much bigger than our catcher.
Down low, swung on and missed.
Chris State's favorite food is tacos. Loves tacos. Not the best driver, especially on a moped.
You have dirt on everybody, don't you?
Well, I was told to have fun.
Runner is off, fouled away on the 2-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for Spaulding in the 4th. Knapp at first base. George putting him in motion. Gagne at third base. Do we have a full count?
I believe we do.
I'm going by the scoreboard. He's off again. It was a full count. Grounded to third. Knocked down, but they will not have a play. States puts the ball in play. Could not be fielded. Second error of the game by Concord. And that scores Gagne to make it 3-zip.
Knapp to second and Ben Gravel up. Let's hope Benny can get himself on a hot streak here. He's due.
Gravel struck out in his first at bat. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 3-zip, Spaulding on top.
I'm not sure if Ben's related to the Kerrigans. I know he went out there with him in pregame for the family photo.
He went out with about 4 families during the family photo. Ben Gravel's just that type of friendly guy.
One of the comedians on the team.
He probably got tired walking back and forth with the families during senior night. Fisted towards Coach George.
Coach George makes the play, keeps it in front.
He's not used to playing that side of the diamond.
No.
He was over on the other side.
Well, he was a pretty
school.
good shortstop in softball. But you're right, in baseball he was pitcher-catcher first.
Grounded to short. Play to second base. Now trying to blur the ball a little bit. But the Red Raiders pick up 3 in the 4th inning, and we move to the 5th. It's Spaulding 3, Concord nothing. Well, Andrew Barnes on the mound with his first lead of the night. 3-0, Spaulding Red Raiders on top. And Barnes has been cruising. He has 8 strikeouts in the game through 4 innings. He will be facing Sean Fallon, Keenan McGonigal, and Noah Wachter.
5, 6, 7 batters.
All 3 strikeout victims their first time up against Barnes.
We were talking earlier, Kevin, about the last 6 games and what Spaulding's done to the opposing teams. To have 59 runs versus their 8, you're almost averaging 10 a game versus 1 a game, and their competitors, it's impressive. It really is.
Coach George's team is really molding into shape. This is the final regular season game for the Red Raiders. They are 12-5, trying to pick up their 13th win of the season. They sit in 3rd place. They could move up to 2nd with a win and an Alvern loss tonight. They could drop as low as 6th, depending on what happens in losing every tiebreaker.
Alvern's got some tough competition in Bedford.
And that is the first free pass issued by Barnes. A leadoff walk for Fallon, the first leadoff batter of the game, reaching base for Concord. And with nobody out, a runner at first base, that'll bring up McGonigal. Only one base runner besides this walk in the game, and that was a single, a 2-out single by the number 9 batter, Dupree. Barnes working from the stretch. Breaking ball, dives inside on the batter, 1-1 the count.
Looks to me, Kevin, like Coach Douglas has got Chris States warming up down the right field line. Easy switch, really, when you get the DHing for the pitcher.
Swung on and missed by McGonigal.
Kyle Douglas was a heck of a catcher, also a pitcher. He was still pitching for men's league, I think, at 48, 4 or 5 years ago. Played on the Cardinals for 14 years, from 85 to 99.
Talk about loving the sport. Former head coach at Newt High School, did a great job with that program.
He's got a lot of work with keeping Coach Rulo in line.
Fouled out of play. One of the few pitching coaches you will see who actually warm up pitchers. Loves to catch still. When he goes down into the bullpen, will catch his pitchers as they warm up. Fisted, pop fly into the infield. Gagne makes the play for the first out. Barnes got in on the fists of McGonigal. That's the first out on a pop-up to 3rd base, and that'll bring up Noah Wachter. Wachter struck out in his first at bat. Runner at first base with 1 out. Barnes misses up and away.
We had 3 players calling for that last pop-up, Kevin. We had the shortstop, Credo, we had the second baseman, Healy, and of course Josh, the bigger of the 3 from 3rd, took the ball.
Yeah, the other 2 moved out of the way when he kept calling for it.
Freight train.
Fallon having a little trouble picking up the move of Barnes. Every time he goes to the plate, he's a step or 2 hopping back to first base. Back easy on that attempt. Wind picking up a little bit as the sun is setting. Swung on and missed. Barnes was cruising through the first 4 innings with 8 strikeouts. Issued a leadoff walk to Fallon. He has a runner at first base with 1 out. Time called by Wachter at the plate. Scott Owens' Crimson Tide team trying to battle for the final playoff spot. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. 2-2 the count on Wachter. Concord 5-12 on the season. They need a win and some help to move into the 16-team Division I playoff.
Yeah, as it stands now, Winnicott's in 19th place, Dover's in 18th, and Concord's in 17th.
Swung on and missed for out number 2. 9th strikeout of the game for Barnes. 2 away with the runner at first base, and that'll bring up Christian McClellan.
Don't see the runners challenging our catcher, Kevin. I'm not surprised by that. After Monday and most of the putouts all season, he's had a phenomenal catching career and year for himself. He's done a good job.
Timeout called by McClellan just before Barnes was about to deliver to the plate. Barnes working with a 3-run lead, courtesy of 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning for Spaulding.
Our 4-5 hitters have had a great night.
We've seen them do some damage in previous games as well. Swung on and missed. Barnes quickly ahead, 0-2 on McClellan.
Boy, this sophomore is a big kid. 6'3", 190.
Barnes will rub up the baseball. He went 3 straight batters without a strikeout. Must have seemed like an eternity for him because he was cruising with 9 strikeouts in the game so far.
That could have a car. That one's surely out of play.
You have to know when there's a baseball game going on here when you pull into the community center in Rochester. You have to stay away from the prime parking spots or you'll end up with a foul ball off your windshield. 0-2 on McClellan. Barnes, backdoor breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. He has 10 strikeouts in the game now for the Spaulding Red Raiders. And it's Spaulding 3, Concord nothing as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Spaulding Red Raiders coming up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. They will have the leadoff batter, Ricky Credo, followed by center fielder Justin Jewell and the catcher Anthony DiPrizio.
Leadoff 1-2-3 here, Kevin. We're hoping they get some more fire.
They scored 3 in their last at bat. Ricky Credo comes up 0 for 2 tonight. Takes ball 1. Nick Dupree still on the mound for the Concord Crimson Tide. He's pitched a fine game, ran into some trouble in the 4th inning. His team made a couple of errors and the Red Raiders capitalized with 3 runs. They lead 3-0. Grounded to shortstop. Law up with it. Across the diamond for out number 1. That'll bring up the senior center fielder, Justin Jewell. 1 out in the 5th inning. Jewell popped up to short his first at bat. Grounded to 3rd base in his 2nd at bat. Back to the mound, rather. Grounded to the mound.
Yeah, hard one to the pitcher, Kevin. It went 1-3 the last time up in the 4th. Pitcher made a good play on him.
Takes ball 1.
I bet his parents are so proud of him, Gary and Robin. He's had such a good scholastic year with a SAT of 2200, going to URI. Great hockey season, good baseball season. Going to play ball there, biomed engineering, just great stuff.
Division II Hockey Player of the Year for the Red Raiders. Number 1 seed through the regular season. Lost a heartbreaker in the Division II State Championship. outstanding season. Jewel, key member of that team, also playing baseball and hockey. Kyle Kerrigan and Drew Healy. Kerry Winfrey as well.
Yeah, one of 3 captains for that hockey team.
Takes a called strike on the 3-0 count.
He started off the season a little cold, but I'll tell you, about a third of the way in, he didn't look back. He's been on fire as well.
One out in the 5th inning. Jewel at the plate. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. The count goes full. Nick Dupree pitching carefully to Jewel.
You can tell he wants to taste a hit. He hit to the shortstop the 1st inning and hard to the pitcher in the 4th. He's due.
There's a 3-2 breaking ball that Jewel fouls away. Always had that quick bat speed. Three and 2 on Jewel. Nick Dupree delivers. Lined up the middle for a base hit. Jewel on base with 1 out for the Red Raiders, and that'll bring up the catcher, Anthony DiPrizio. And that'll bring out Scott Owen to the mound. He'll talk to Nick Dupree. Some action in the bullpen for a couple of innings for the Concord Crimson Tide. Jared Grondin warming up down there. He is a 6'2 junior. Owen looking down to the bullpen, and he will make the change. Jared Grondin will come in for Nick Dupree. And we'll find out the position changes as well for the Concord Crimson Tide. Nick Dupree really pitched a fine game, ran into some trouble, giving up 3 runs in the 4th inning, but a couple of Concord errors. And as Scott Owen talked about his senior pitcher, he said he will compete, and he did tonight, John.
Yeah, he did. He had a really fine first 3 innings. He had a couple Ks, a lot of infield out to the shortstop especially. I thought he did pretty well until he got into that ugly 4th. And as a senior, it is what it is. They've made a change and going with the righty.
Jared Grondin will come on to relieve Dupree. He has 1 runner on base with 1 out. And this is the part of the order that's not only done some damage tonight, John, but all season long. DiPrizio, Healy, Gagne behind him. It's been a very tough middle part of the order for the Spaulding Red Raiders.
No question at all. Anthony's been doing a great job at catcher's position and offensively. Drew's had an excellent offensive year, and Josh is solid as well. It's a deep lineup. It's been very impressive when you see a Healy hitting cleanup. You and I were talking about that on last Wednesday's game. It's not a common defensive slot for him. I should say offensive slot for him, but he's done a great job in that cleanup role.
Just give him a bat and he's going to produce. He'll be at the top of the order. You move him anywhere, and he's batting in the cleanup spot. In Spaulding's offense, he's been a big part of it this year. As we said, they have won 6 straight games, the Spaulding Red Raiders.
Yeah, they're on a 6-game winning streak, and as I mentioned, a 59-run-to-8 comparison to some of their competitors. Pretty impressive. And here we are on senior night with all our seniors here. We probably should have said something about Brendan Mathias. He missed the game tonight because of the fact that he's a track star. He's in the state championships. I guess he runs the 200 and the 4x100. So for good reason, he's missed the senior night tonight.
One of a couple of pinch runners that Coach George will use, Kerry Winfrey, an underclassman who has great speed as well, trying to break him into that pinch running role. And Brendan Mathias has a little more baseball experience and has great speed as well that they have used off the bench. Right now they don't need a pinch runner though. With Jewel at first, he has outstanding speed. DiPrizio at the plate.
Yeah, Stephen Brady was another they've used on occasion. Nick Dunning we saw last Wednesday. Even Sean Cormier. They've got a number of runners at the JV level in addition to Kerry Winfrey and Brendan Mathias. A lot of good pinch runners at the varsity level.
So Grondin into pitch. He'll check on Jewel quickly at first base, and Jewel dives back safe.
That was a nice line drive to center field for Justin.
First pitch, Jewell takes off, up and in, no throw. Jewell steals second base easily. DiPrizio bluffed the bunt. Jewell in scoring position with 1 out.
Seen Anthony unload on a couple different at-bats this season with home runs. On occasion, he'll give you tremendous power.
He had a home run last game I was up here. I think it was their last home game.
Yeah.
Hit one into left center field. Hit that ball pretty well, and then 2 batters later, Josh Gagne lined a home run to the same spot. Some power in the middle of the Spaulding lineup. DiPrizio, a senior catcher, headed to St. Joseph's in Maine to play baseball. Takes a ball down low, 2-1 on the senior catcher.
Going to be a physician's assistant. He's got a sister, Marina, and of course his parents were here earlier, and grandparents. Everybody tends to watch his games. They're always present.
Up and in.
Old Kiwanis player back in Little League, Kevin.
Kiwanis played with his teammate at second base, Justin Jewell on Kiwanis. Gary Jewell, the head coach of that team. They hit a ton of home runs that 12-year-old year for them. I think almost everyone on the team hit a home run. Jewell takes off the third, pitches down low. Jewell steals it easily. Jewell steals second, steals third base. DiPrizio walks. Runners at the corners with 1 out. And that'll bring up Drew Healy. Healy 2 for 2 in the game, has an RBI and has scored a run. I don't know if DiPrizio will stay at first base for too long. And then again, you have a hot-hitting Drew Healy up, so we'll see how Coach George plays this.
At one point when I had talked to the statistician, Mr. Wiz, a few games ago, Drew was 10 for 16. And the prior 16 at-bats, I don't know his average, but I know it's pretty impressive this season. Good for number 3.
2 for 2 tonight. Takes a called strike. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Spaulding leading 3-0 over the Concord Crimson Tide. Check it first. DiPrizio back. DiPrizio on first base. Jewell at third base. The hot-hitting Drew Healy up, trying to give Spaulding a little more offensive cushion. DiPrizio takes off, and that's fly ball into left field. Back on it is Fallon. Tagging and coming home to the plate. The relay not in time. Jewell scores. And it's an RBI sacrifice fly for Drew Healy. And that was an impressive play, impressive display of base running by Jewell.
Sure was.
Single, stole second, stole third, scored on a sac fly to left field.
Yeah, line drive to center field for his first single of the night. Then he stole again second, as you said, stole third. Coach George had him tagging on that fly out by Healy. In fact, on the same play, you probably saw Anthony was past second, had to go all the way back to first.
Sacrifice fly RBI for Drew Healy. Second ribby of the game. They check on DiPrizio at first. Spaulding now leads 4-0. That'll bring up Josh Gagne, who's 2 for 2.
2 singles. Good to see Josh hot.
DiPrizio takes off for second. Swung on and missed by Gagne. DiPrizio gets to second base. Throw goes into center field, tracked down by Law.
Yeah, we jokingly spoke 25 minutes ago about how quick the first 3 innings had gone, and as soon as we get into that 4th inning, all has changed, Kevin.
12 batters have come to the plate in the last inning and a third for Spaulding. 3 runs scored in the last inning. They have 1 run in here in the bottom of the 5th. They lead 4-0. Gagne at the plate.
That was quite the predictable curveball. I think you could see that coming a mile away. Didn't hide it well, Kevin.
Jared Grondin on to pitch for the Concord Crimson Tide. 6'2" junior. Relieving Nick Dupree. Grounded to third. Up with it is Dupree across the diamond for the out. The Red Raiders pick up 1. And as we move to the top of the 6th inning, it's Spaulding 4, Concord nothing. We move to the top of the 6th inning. Andrew Barnes staked to a 4-0 lead as he faces the Concord Crimson Tide. Leading off will be the number 9 batter, Ethan Dupree, who has 1 of 2 hits in the game for Concord. He singled with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Cooling off a little bit, John. It was a beautiful day. Gorgeous night still for baseball under the lights.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a hot streak with weather the last 4 or 5 days, and apparently in a couple days it's going to cool down again.
Ball is lined into center field. Jewell on his horse. It'll get over his head.
That was smoke, Kevin.
Ethan Dupree heads into second base with a double, and he's had a nice night. As tough as Barnes has been tonight, Dupree with 2 hits, he has a single and now a double. 3rd hit of the game for Concord. That'll bring up the top of the order with Rob Law. Law struck out twice so far against Barnes.
This shortstop for Concord has been busy tonight. A lot of plays at short.
2nd straight inning, Concord has had the leadoff batter on. They had a leadoff walk in the 5th, but Barnes got a pop-up to 3rd base. Right behind him at the pitcher's mound, handled by Gagne, and then back-to-back strikeouts to end the mini threat. Pitching into the 6th inning. Final regular season game for the Spaulding Red Raiders, trying to win this one and clinch a top 3 seed in the Division I tournament. Watching Credo and Healy out there at second base keep the base runner close. They've done this a little bit together throughout the years, learning to keep runners close.
That they have, and you would know. They sure have, too. Probably 6, 7 years in a row now together.
Soft liner into center field, Jewell under it. Runner tags but will not advance. Out number 1 on a fly out to center field. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Andrew Grondin.
We talked a little bit about the change in the Spaulding team, Kevin, with 10 seniors leaving. And when we look to the pitching depth next year, it's going to be a strange year. When you look at pitching, you got Morginus, of course, and maybe guys like Healy and Dow. It's going to be a challenge.
Swung on and missed. 10 strikeouts in the game for Andrew Barnes. He had 10 through 5 innings. He was averaging 2 per inning. He has 1 out here in the 6th. Backdoor breaking ball, blocked by DiPrizio, but scoots too far away. That will move up Dupree to 3rd base. Barnes has given up 3 hits in the game. He struck out 10.
States is still out there and right, warming up. In fact, he just threw one right by Carl.
Swung on and missed. 1-2 on Grondin. Ball running away from Grondin there. DiPrizio had to reach out for it. Two and two. In the dirt, check swing. They'll appeal. And the base umpire, Rivetto, says Grondin held up. Swung on and missed for strikeout number 11, 2nd out of the 6th inning.
2nd strikeout in a row for Grondin. Struck out in the fourth.
2 outs, and that'll bring up Nick Dupree. Dupree 0 for 2 in the game, grounded to third base and struck out looking in the 4th inning. Dupree, the pitcher of record for Concord. He started, gave up 4 runs in the game.
I neglected to point out the defensive change earlier in the inning with Josh not at third and Dakota Capoletti at third.
Capoletti entered the game for Cody Knapp. He'll move to third base, and Gagne moves to first. Swung on and missed by Dupree. 2 outs in the inning. Runner at third base, Ethan Dupree, Nick's brother. Nick trying to deliver his brother in for the first run of the game for Concord. The one good thing about the Spaulding coaches, their voices are so identifiable. When Coach Young speaks, you know it's him. No mistaking Coach George. Gary Bryant, you can tell his voice.
That is true. No question. Coach George and Bryant are very easy to pick out.
Liner into center field. Jewell coming on and makes the sliding catch. Justin Jewell saves a run for the Red Raiders. Andrew Barnes is cruising through 6 innings. The Red Raiders coming up to bat in the bottom of the 6th. They lead 4-0.
That was a nice catch.
We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Spaulding Red Raiders leading 4-0. Coming up to bat for the Red Raiders will be Kyle Kerrigan, followed by Dakota Capoletti, and then Chris States.
Kyle's been up twice. He hit to second in the 2nd inning for the 4-3 put out. In the 4th inning, he hit to the pitcher to first for the 2nd at bat.
Knocked in a run on that hard grounder off the leg of Dupree. Jared Grondin, the reliever, in for Concord. Kyle Kerrigan, a converted catcher.
Yeah, and that's a pretty impressive talent to be able to be a defensive, diversified player, be able to go catcher to outfield to other positions. So good for him.
Lined into left field. That ball is going to drop for a base hit. Kyle Kerrigan down the left field line with a leadoff single for the Red Raiders.
Placed that well, Kevin. That was great.
That'll bring up Dakota Capoletti, and Spaulding may be playing for 1 run here, John. They get a leadoff runner on, bottom of the order coming up. Dakota Capoletti coming to the plate. Coach George wants to make sure that that substitution is noted, and we're going to have a pinch runner at first base, perhaps. Gary Bryant looking towards George, who's talking with the home plate umpire. Dan Coughlin, the plate umpire. Kyle Kerrigan at first base, but looks like we will have a pinch runner, Nick Dunning, number 1.
Yeah, Nick Dunning, number 1, heading to first, a pinch run.
We owe Nick a little bit of an apology. Our last broadcast, we did not have his roster number. We assumed it might be Sean Cormier. But it's Nick Dunning. He's done some pinch running. Last couple games, he's gone in for the Red Raiders. Dives back safe at first.
Looks like a very comfortable runner on the base paths.
Capoletti at the plate. Nick Dunning at first base. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Spaulding up 4-0. Capoletti squares, lays down a nice bunt. Dakota with a nice bunt. Dunning moves to second base, and Capoletti gets the job done. 1-3 on the sac bunt for the first out. That will bring up Christian Dow, who will be pinch hitting for Chris States. The left-handed bat, as you said earlier, you thought we might see him, and he's coming up to bat in a key spot.
Christian had a huge hit in the game Monday in Nashua. It was a really nice hit to right field, and much needed when he hit it. He's been on fire as well. He's had a very good offensive year as a junior.
Line shot right to the shortstop. Nice read by Nick Dunning as that ball was lined at large shortstop, and he made the play. Dunning froze and got back in time. Tough luck for Dow. He hits that one right on the nose, but recorded an L6 for the second out.
Come on, Benny.
That'll bring up Benny with 2 outs. Ben Gravel. Fooled on the breaking ball. Gravel was quite active on senior night, as we said, John.
Yeah, he's a comedian. Interesting fact about Ben is that he only dates foreign exchange students.
Boy, the things these kids reveal on their sheets. He's not even a senior. We have the senior sheets, but... Two outs, runner at second base. Ben Gravel, the left fielder, trying to increase the Red Raider lead. They lead 4-0. Dunning at second base with the lead. Curveball lined into left field with 2 outs. That ball drops for a base hit. Ben Gravel with a big 2-out double scores Nick Dunning, and the Red Raiders now lead 5-0.
Key hit for Ben. Good for him.
Ball hit into the shadows of left center field. Gravel delivering a 2-out RBI double. Nick Dunning, who came on to pinch run for Kyle Kerrigan, scores the 5th run. And that brings up Rick Credo. Five to nothing, the Red Raiders on top. Fouled off at the plate.
That was a key double for Ben with 2 outs. Good for him. Ball was hit straight to that left center gap. Would have been a heck of a play if that center fielder made it.
And Ben made a little bit of an adjustment. The first pitch he saw was a breaking ball that he was really fooled on. Stayed back on that breaking ball and lined it for a double into left center field. Credo thought about the bunt, pulled back. It's 1-1 on Rick. Last few games I've seen him, he's tried for a few bunt base hits, Rick Credo has.
That he has, yeah. He's done it almost once a game for each of the games I've seen. I've made 80 or 85% of the games.
Pickoff play at second base. Gravel dives back in. Quick move by Grondin to Law, but Gravel is back. Fly ball, center field. Drifting back a few steps under it is Andrew Grondin. He makes the catch to retire the side, but the Red Raiders pick up one more insurance run on the RBI double by Ben Gravel. They move to the top of the 7th inning with a 5-0 lead. We move to the top of the 7th inning. Andrew Burns trying to finish this one off on a spectacular night by the senior left-hander. He has really dominated this Crimson Tide lineup. He's working on a 5-0 shutout. He has yielded 3 hits in the game.
11 strikeouts.
He'll be facing in the middle of the order Brad Murphy, Sean Fallon, and Keenan McGonigal. Swung on and missed. He's just been spectacular tonight, John. He had a string of 6 straight outs in the middle innings, all by strikeout. He has 11 strikeouts in the game. That one up and in. Red Raiders playing their final regular season home game of the season, trying to secure a top 3 seed. They currently sit in the 3 spot with a 12-5 record. Pinkerton is the #1 seed in Division I. Their season ended last night. They finished up at 14-4. Right now, Spaulding battling with Alvern for the 2-3 spot.
Yeah, Exeter got to play Pinkerton last night.
There is strikeout number 12 by Barnes. First out of the 7th inning. And we have a pinch hitter. Number 22, Blake Bouldry, comes on to hit for Concord.
Yeah, the senior Blake coming in for Sean Fallon.
Bouldry, the left-hander, is going to face the left-handed pitching Barnes.
Barnes told me his favorite place to visit is Las Vegas. Likes chicken Alfredo.
Fallon was 0 for 1 in the game, reached on a walk in the 5th inning. Called strike.
Late call. Didn't look like Fallon liked that call.
1-2 on Fallon. Take that back. Bouldry. 1-2 on Bouldry. Breaking ball misses inside. Fallon was, as we said, 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk, and Bouldry is hitting for him. Called third strike on the outside corner. That is the 13th strikeout of the game for Andrew Barnes. 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Boy, he's got command tonight, Kevin. What a great pitching performance. Good for him. Don and Lynn must be so proud as parents.
And that'll bring up McGonigal, the catcher. McGonigal's 0 for 2 in the game. Barnes trying to put an exclamation point on this performance tonight. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Spaulding leading 5-0. It's been a nearly perfect senior night for the Red Raiders. Swung on and missed. Fly ball into left field. Ben Gravel moves back into his left. He is under it. And he makes the catch to end the ball game. Andrew Barnes has a hug for Anthony DiPrizio. The seniors sharing one final moment during the regular season, and this game was really about Andrew Barnes tonight. 13 strikeouts, 3 hits, John. He was magnificent.
He really was. 14 led the way tonight with those 13 strikeouts and a shutout 5-0 win. That was an impressive pitching performance. So darn impressed with Andrew Barnes going the distance. Good for him.
The Red Raiders score 5 runs. They win 5-0. They pick up 6 hits along the way. And as we said, Andrew just gave up the 3 hits with 13 strikeouts. The Red Raiders now clinch at least a top 3 seed. They're going to be either the 2 or 3 seed, depending on what happened or happens tonight with the Alvern Broncos against Bedford. So they're in a very good spot heading into the playoffs, and they've won 7 straight, John.
Yeah, they're hot. That game will play a factor. We'll see how that goes in Bedford. 6 playing 2 against, Alvern. We'll see how that comes out. But I got a feeling we're going to have the 2 spot. And here's a team, Spaulding, that's just on fire. With this 5-0 win, they went 7 in a row now. And as I mentioned earlier, Kevin, they had 59-8 in their last 6 games. When you add today's 5-0, they've scored 64 runs to the opponent's 8. What a dominating 7 games. Good for them. They're on a hot streak.
They have won 7 straight, and they have won 8 out of 9 games. Offensively, the Red Raiders scored 5 runs. Drew Healy knocked in a couple of runs. He was perfect on the day, 2 for 2. Also had a sacrifice fly. He scored a run. Jules scored for the Red Raiders. DiPrizio scored a run. Healy and Gagne each scored and both had 2 hits. And Kyle Kerrigan had a single. Eventually, pinch runner scored by Nick Dunning, and the Red Raiders win 5-0. They move on to the playoffs, and it's a new season, John, but they have the seed they were looking for, one of the top 4 seeds. They will potentially host 2 first-round games. They certainly will host the first prelim game here, and if they win that one, they will be hosting the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah, here we are on a Friday night, May 29th, 2015. The season's over, and they've got a little bit of a break here. Next Thursday on June 4th is the first prelim game at 4 o'clock, and I think it'll be an interesting first game for Spaulding. They're on such a hot streak. I think it'll continue, and then hopefully play in the quarters thereafter on Saturday. It'll be neat for the fans to be able to see maybe 1 or 2 hosted games. Should be a lot of fun.
The Spaulding Red Raiders clinch a top 4 seed. They just wait to find out if they are 2 or 3. They will also wait to find out this weekend, after all the games finish up, who their first-round playoff opponent will be. Tonight, it was Andrew Barnes on senior night. The senior lefty really led the way for the Red Raiders. 10 seniors on the Spaulding High team. It was a terrific senior night. They beat the Concord Crimson Tide 5-0 at Burt George Field at Spaulding High School. That'll do it for us. Red Raiders win 5-0. For our cameraman, Nate Shaw, and my color partner, John Credo, I'm Kevin Conley saying so long from Burt George Field.